blazing noon. Samuel, a muscular slave with scars on his back, picks cotton. From the veranda, the overseer, Silas, watches, drinking from a flask. Ilara, Samuel's wife, hands him a mug of water. Silas approaches, roughly shoves Ilara aside, and strikes Samuel with the handle of his whip. Sunset. Colonel Beaumont plays cards on his mansion's veranda. Two men forcibly drag a screaming Ilara to a wagon. Samuel watches from afar. Samuel tries to rush to her aid, but Silas and his assistant kick him. Night. Samuel, beaten and bloody, sits up on his pallet in the barracks. Under the cover of a cloudy night, Samuel slips out of the barracks. He sneaks up on the guard at the stable and strikes him on the head with a rock. Samuel throws a bridle on a horse in the dark stable. On horseback, he leaps over the plantation fence. A pursuit with dogs and torches rides out from the plantation gates. Samuel races through the night forest, branches lashing his back. Dawn. Samuel forces the horse into a fast-flowing river. Silas and his men lose the trail at the river's edge. Silas furiously strikes the water with his whip. Day. Samuel's horse collapses from exhaustion in the desert. Samuel walks through the desert on foot, stumbling from the heat. He falls unconscious in the shadow of a rock. An elderly Native American, Chayton, finds Samuel and gives him water from a water skin. Weeks later, night. Samuel, dressed in a shirt, cleans a revolver by a campfire. Samuel shoots his revolver at bottles set up on a rock. Chayton hands Samuel a hat and a gun belt. Samuel, now wearing a hat and a gun on his hip, gets on a horse. Samuel rides across the desert, leaving Chayton behind. Midday. Samuel rides into a dusty town. He enters a saloon and stops at the bar, looking around. He silently drinks whiskey, listening to the conversations around him. Night. Samuel sits by a campfire in the hills above the road, checking his revolver. Dawn. A stagecoach drawn by 6 horses appears on the road. Driving the coach is Jebediah, one of the overseers from the plantation. Samuel rides out onto the road in front of the stagecoach, blocking its path. Jebediah recognizes Samuel. His face contorts with fear. He reaches for his rifle. A gunshot. Samuel fires first. Jebediah falls from the driver's seat. Samuel rides up to the body, dismounts, and takes Jebediah's rifle. He looks into the stagecoach. A frightened banker is sitting there.
Tell me where Colonel Beaumont is. Where is he?
Red Creek. He owns the Golden Eagle Saloon in Red Creek.
Samuel backs away from the stagecoach and gets on his horse. Several days later, Samuel rides across the prairie. The town of Red Creek is visible ahead. Red Creek, a bustling, lively town. Samuel dismounts at a hitching post. Colonel Beaumont exits the large Golden Eagle Saloon. Following Beaumont is Silas. He is better dressed, but his face is just as cruel. Samuel rents a room above a stable. The window overlooks the saloon's backyard. Evening. Samuel watches from his window. Silas exits the saloon through the back door. Samuel silently descends and follows Silas through the dark alleyways. Silas approaches his house. Samuel steps out of the shadows to block his path. Silas recognizes him. His face fills with terror. He frantically reaches for his revolver. Silas falls from Samuel's devastating punch. The crack of the whip cuts through the night's silence, leaving a welt on Silas's back. Samuel throws the whip into the dust. He draws his revolver.
This is for my beloved Elara.
Samuel takes a small tuft of cotton from his pocket and drops it on the dead man's chest. He disappears into the alley. Beaumont looks at the cotton on Silas's chest. His face turns to stone. The next day, Beaumont hires 3 notorious bounty hunters. One is a Mexican with a knife, the second is a former Confederate, the third is a silent renegade Native American. Samuel learns that Beaumont is taking a train to Austin. Night. Samuel studies a railroad map in his room. He finds the perfect spot for an ambush, a narrow canyon with a wooden bridge. The next night, he leaves town, leading a second horse with supplies. The Native American hunter finds tracks leading out of town. He points them out to the others. Samuel arrives at the bridge in the canyon. He begins to prepare. He plants dynamite under one of the bridge supports. Day. The 3 bounty hunters gallop along Samuel's trail. Samuel lies in ambush on a cliff above the bridge, a rifle in his hands. He waits. In the distance, the smoke of a train appears. The train approaches. Samuel sees Beaumont's private car at the end of the train. The locomotive enters the bridge. Samuel pushes the detonator. An explosion! The bridge support splinters into pieces. The locomotive and several cars plummet into the canyon with a roar. The rear cars, including Beaumont's, screech to a halt at the edge of the abyss. Samuel descends from the hill toward the stopped train. Colonel Beaumont, covered in dust, climbs out of his car with a revolver in his hand. He sees Samuel walking towards him. Beaumont takes aim. Samuel approaches the unarmed Beaumont. At that moment, the 3 bounty hunters appear on the canyon ridge.